Hello. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. It's BDevine, of course, and just checking in with you all, see how you're going. Some people have left a message. Hi, Wayne Peppermint. All right. I'm not going to yell. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I think I've got my volume right up. Maybe a way I can turn it up further. Just 1 second. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hi, Linda. Thank you. I'm just going to put my October special up here, and I'll pin the message. Thank you, husband. Hey, Marissa. Welcome. All right. I think I can see you guys. I have my half-finished Halloween stuff behind me. It is what it is. Hey, everyone. Okay. So I'm just going to get some Palo Santo going. Probably still hear just a little bit in my voice, a little bit, but I tell you, I feel so much better today than I have as well. Hi, Sarah. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing. I'm just talking with you guys. I've got a few things to say and bring up about the energy right now, and hopefully that will help you, okay, with whatever's going on in your life. Also, things that we've been dealing with and, you know, the issues that come up for us all. I'm just going to welcome you all in right now. Oh, hi, Candy. Elma is here. Hello. Thank you guys for coming in. Helen's here. Hi. Now, I'm going to be doing the Devine Cafe most likely on Friday afternoon, if you want to be a part of that as well. But today's just for everybody, and these are just messages for our journey, pathway, whatever we're doing, okay? And I'm also, obviously, for the last week or so, I have been down, like I've been needing rest. That's what I'm telling myself. I just was hit with this thing, and it just went through my body, and I don't get unwell. I never get sick. So, I mean, once in a blue moon, right? Something will come up. Yeah. Yes, Lisa, I have got the quartz crystal for you. No worries. It's going out today. Hi, Teresa. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff that happened before this happened. But I just couldn't talk. I wouldn't have been able to get anything out. I was making beeping noises. Yeah, so you should get a notification soon that's going out to you as well. Awesome. So I want to talk about a whole lot of stuff, but I'm going to let you guys come in first. And then I'll go through, and hopefully it will be helpful for you all. So many things happening right now in everybody's life as well. Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you so much. Now, don't get me going today. I may start crying. It's like I look like I'm going to cry, but it's just my eyes water a little bit. So, yeah, that's very sweet. Thank you. I love that. And then we'll have our auction on Saturday where I can do the silly dance, right? There was no way I could do the silly dance. And I just kind of had to let myself stop, which was hard as well. You know, to stop when you're a person that keeps on going. Thank you. And, yeah, we will be back on Saturday for silly fun. We're also going to have a big Halloween show coming up soon. So that'll be on the 30th of October. So not on Halloween night, because otherwise we get everybody knocking on the door, and you guys are doing your thing anyway on Halloween evening. So we'll do it the night before, and we're going to dress up, and we'll have readings, and I'll have the cauldron here, and I'm going to pull out stuff out of there as prizes, and we'll come up with all kinds of stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for coming in. Again, it's a very interesting time that we're in right now. So I wanted to be able to at least let you guys know that I'm alive. Nothing's going to get me down for too long. Every single day I moved through this thing, and it was my ear, my nose, my throat, and then went down, down, down. And it was just weird how it went every single day. It was something else. Yeah, in waves. And we already had the sea thing. We had that last October. Isn't that funny? We had that last October, and that was nothing compared to this. So, yeah, it really knocked me out. But I'd always come back swinging, right? Always come back stronger. And there's a lot more that's coming. So it's actually helped me a lot to evaluate things that were going on. So I want to talk about that as well. I have a list of things here I want to talk about. I want to talk about your intuition as well, your abilities, okay? And you guys all, by now, have seen me do the Divine Cafe and tune in, and I don't know anything about the person I'm tuning in for usually, and out it comes, right? Lots of messages and loved ones and all that sort of stuff. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the art of intuition and your abilities, and also Ascension. I want to talk a little bit about that, even though I'm creating the Pathway to Ascension course. We will do that over a number of weeks, most likely. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to set it up now because of my Facebook page, but that won't always be gone. Ascension and the different, I've just got my notes here. So some different things to remember with this also as we go on our pathway. Okay. All right. Yeah. So my husband's like, he doesn't know whether to go. I'm not going to the doctor, so you just better get used to it. I'll just sort myself through. Thank you. Yeah, I'm like 99.9% better than I was, and I still have a little way, but at least I can talk. Because it was funny, I was just beeping. I'd be like, and something would come out, and my husband's like, "You're going to have to whisper," and I'm like, "Oh." And the dogs are like, "What's this beeping noise coming out of Mum?" It was funny. Now forget it. Yeah, I know. I knew if I went that would be it. I probably wouldn't come out. So thanks, Wayne. Excellent. Hi, Michelle. So welcome in, you guys, if you are coming in right now. Yeah. Well, the thing is, and this is what I want to explain too, the deeper levels, the deeper levels of healing, okay? So I'm I'm probably going to get started now because I really want to talk about different things, and I apologize. Hey, Christy. You guys are just coming in still. But I'm going to talk about this. Oh my God. Painters stole your crystals? That's such bad karma. What is going on with people getting things stolen? Ugh. Maybe the crystals, one way I look at that as well is that the crystals needed to go to them. As much as I hate to say it, they wanted to walk because they do go to who they belong to. And if it's for, a sick kid or something like that, it's no worries, Wayne. You never have to apologize. I have been gone for a week as well. Also, Okay, healing. All right, so I apologize because I have to make the chat a little smaller because otherwise I'm distracted by the chat, and I really need to be here chatting with you. So the first thing is thank you everybody for your love and support. Those that are here, I really appreciate each and every one of you. There are some that unfortunately I've had to completely ban, so they won't be seeing all this anyway, but I've had to completely ban, and there is a no tolerance energy, and all of you need to have that right now, is a complete no tolerance to BS, okay? Nearly said it. No tolerance, because if you give into it, you're lowering your vibration, right? And you are off track. And I want to explain that also. Okay, this has to do with your abilities. And welcome to Stephen listening from Ghana. Wow. Okay. So number one is that we are all right now, okay, undergoing some pretty major timelines of events. Okay. We're going through all this around us, right? And this is called worldwide. When I do this, that's worldwide nutso stuff, right? But we're seeing the great illusion that's happening, okay? At the same time, we're trying to maintain our physical, emotional, spiritual self, all right? We're trying to maintain our pathway. We're trying to maintain family. We're trying to keep drama away. We're trying to focus on, something that makes life easier, right? Something that's simple to do, something that we can just, put all of our, focus on, that brings us some kind of relief, okay? And each one of you are on your own, journey with this, right? Each one of you are on your own journey with it. And where you are on the journey, is your thing. And it sort of has a lot to do with where you are on your ascension path, of course, and where you are in your karmic path and your karmic patterning. And also, what's been trying to force you backwards. Now, what I say by that is, with certain things in my own life, while I've been dealing with helping all of you, I've also been dealing with things that have been trying to stop me in my own life, right? I have had endless attacks. This is something that I have to. I don't want to bring it back to myself or anything like that. So it was energetic. So not so much people, but the dark energy doesn't want us as light workers, especially those who are going to be light leaders, okay, in one way or another, whatever that way is for you. A lot of the darkness doesn't want us to succeed. Now, that darkness can be social media. That darkness can be really, really high up in different hierarchy systems, in different gateways, in different galaxies, in different, timelines, different dimensional energy, and that's a whole nother story, okay? But when you're on this pathway, right, when you're really getting somewhere, the darkness energy, no matter where that comes from, will try to trip you over emotionally. Because when they can get to you emotionally, in other words, you're having a huge reaction to something, you're getting really peed off about something or someone or an attitude or a drama, a situation, the dark energy loves you to lower your guard like that and start reacting to the situation, right? And when you do it, although I always tell you, make sure you feel stuff, Okay, don't suppress. It's when you do it and you keep on going at it and doing it, right? That darker energy, that negative collective, let's just call it, is rubbing their hands together, waiting for your demise, waiting for you to fall. I've had my arms nearly ripped out of my socket at night time by there's this thing that it's like a dark, it's like a black, it looks like a black person, like all completely black, like just a shadow figure. And it always tries to grab me when I'm out of guard, right? When I haven't put my protection up, when I haven't been thinking about it, or when I've lowered my energy or given into something that has been utter ridiculous, and I've reacted to it. And usually in those timings, there'll be something that tries to really frighten, okay? Yeah. So, and I mean, when I say that there's this, it's not just like a little frightening thing, it's full on what happens. People couldn't handle it. So let me just tell you that when you're going through so the point is that thing only comes in, and it will only come in for you, and it will only be attracted to you, and negative energy will only start to seem like it is powerful to you, is when you are weak because of circumstances, when you're weak because of, your energy sifting out of you, when you're weak because you're giving in to something, when you're weak because you've been forgetting about yourself, and you've been forgetting about your protection, and you've been giving in to frustration and drama that gets piled on top, right? No one's life is perfect. It doesn't matter how it seems to be, right? No one's life is perfect. So when this is happening, okay, this is directly to try to throw you off of your healing pathway and your ascension pathway and your empowerment pathway, right? So flea, like Marissa just said, fleas biting. So that is actually someone, okay, a person that irritates you and bites at you, someone who's not as they seem, pesky, okay? But anyway, that's another thing, right? So with all of these things going on, if your body gets unwell, okay, now I call it needing a rest. I don't even want to say unwell because I just don't like to declare anything like that, okay? But let's just say it wasn't 100%, right, at the time. When that happens, it's because you've already got rid of something. Now, let me be clear about that. When you have some illness in your body, or if you've got an infection, you've got something going on, whatever it is. For me, it was everything was like the infection was coming out, right? When that happens, you've already pulled it out of you. So even though it seems like, oh my God, I'm going down, this is bad, I'm unwell, it's all happening. There's not only that happening, but I've got this and this and this and this and this to deal with, right? So you think, and here's another thing. But when you get the symptoms coming out, you've already done it. You've already done the healing. And it finally was able to show itself. As much as that sucks, it's like the final transitional thing that was going on with you. So last Sunday, my Facebook page was compromised. Okay, they didn't hack it entirely because they were only given access to my advertising side of things. But then they got in behind the scenes and got into my actual account, which has to do with Divine Miracles on Facebook. And they got into that account and got rid of me from it and my husband. And then they started to show up on Facebook going live and gaming, right? So I was angry to see him there because they kept on denying it. They're like, we don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean we're live on your channel? Oh, you must have put us there. Like, okay. And then I got really unwell. So almost like overnight that happened, right? Yeah. Right. So on the face on the logo. So I can't log in. My husband can't log in. The page doesn't belong to me anymore. It's still there with all my details because of the 73,000 people that apparently are on that page. And the person that was on the page connected to a Facebook group of gaming, right? And the Facebook group who runs that, is obviously the one that's doing this, right? Anyway, behind the scenes of that, I have a Facebook tech in Australia, an actual guy that works for Facebook, right? So it's not me asking, Facebook to do something. This guy that works for Facebook is submitting tickets to fix it, but it takes time because the very next day, guess what happened? Nobody had Facebook, right? I don't even care about Facebook, but I care about that page because that's 12 years of people finding me, connecting with me, videos, my first time ever going live, lessons that I taught on that page, all kinds of work for the last 12 years. So if it was just like, a brand new thing, who cares? But I want that choice to delete that page, if I want to, right? So this happened. Suddenly I'm ill. The first thing that you would think is, oh, because of your page going down, now you're sick, right? That's part of it. Let me tell you, yeah, right. Ugh. So anyway, after that happened, right, and my husband and I were really, really upset because the guy was right there. Not only was he right there, but he was telling us that we were crazy, that we were the crazy ones, that we're talking to nobody, that he's not even there, that it's an old video, he hasn't done anything. We're like, we can see you, dude, like you're right there. Now there's another one that's there, right? So every few days after this, became unwell. Now, most people would put the two things together, and I certainly did think that it was some of it. And when you're going through healing, so when you're going through healing, or when anyone is, you have to get to the bottom of the whole thing. So the initial thing is, okay, you're peed off, your page is gone, it's 12 years of your work, it's violating you, right? And I felt like I'd been completely violated, like my private thing that nobody's ever had anything to do with other than myself. There's somebody on it, like invading it, right? And it was deeper than that. The real reason that this came to the surface, and this is why I'm explaining this, I'm always a tool for learning, okay? I'm always a tool for learning. Now, the deeper message to losing your platform, losing your stage, losing your teaching ability, losing your voice, literally, right? Losing your connection. It was directly related to, past lives and how many of us have been murdered for beliefs, told to shut up. You can't believe in all of the things that you believe in, or you're going to be in jail, locked up, your voice taken away. And this was part of it, and there's so many different platforms. It doesn't even matter. I had my own Facebook kind of like platform for 9-10 years, and there was 3,000 members, right? All of a sudden, there was ghosts, crickets, and I was paying to keep it going every month, over $100 every month, and nobody was there. As soon as you take something down, they're like, where's that page gone? Like nobody was there. So I was trying to develop my own community. Patreon, I'm on Rumble, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. And you try to keep up with all those platforms, it's almost impossible. But yeah, creating your own thing, it's not easy. I can code websites, but having something that will host the video capacity and bandwidth and all that is not easy, especially if you want to go live, right? So, I've been at this for 12 years, and it's not. It's easier now than it used to be, that's for sure. So why should we be taken down from things? And why should we be, forced into submitting to what everybody wants us to do? Oh, just have to go somewhere else, Well, we'll set those things up, but I'm going to stand strong with YouTube for as long as I can, right? So when you're going through healing, you have to connect with the reasons. Not sure, Wayne, but you have to connect with the reasons why the thing has happened, not just to annoy you, or not just because everybody's against you, or not just because Facebook's after you, or not just because someone doesn't like you or something. That doesn't really bother me at all, right? But the deeper message with any of you, for all of your healing, for anything that you're doing, for anything that's going on with you, for your life path, for your life focus, for the family that you've been stuck with, for the life that you've been, entering, you've got to look at the big things, right? And you've got to look at why something has really bothered you so much. For me, it was, as I said to you, this feeling of, oh my God, I thought in this life, you don't get told what to say. You don't get told what you can do and what you can't do. You're allowed to believe what you want to believe, right? Everybody has the freedom to do that, right? And then it was gone. And it was just a fright, a situation like that. And right, exactly, right? So welcome to everyone who's coming in. Hi, Katie Cat. Yeah, so one of our pathways to ascension, okay, so this is what I'm getting to as well. One of our pathways to ascension is surrender. It's the first step, okay? So what surrender is when you finally stop fighting yourself. When you finally stop fighting other people. When you finally stop trying to make people listen to you, right? When you finally stop trying to convince them of which way you're going. When you stop trying to say, hey, wake up. You've got to listen. Oh my God, you're going down the wrong path. You've got to please come with me because I want you to come with us. We're going to have so much fun over here. We've got to stop that right now. There is no waking anybody up right now. Okay? Surrender yourself into your journey. And I'm telling you that this has come, channeling a week of being unwell, whatever you want to call it. There's been a process going on. It always happens to me. It's like they have to wipe me off my feet. She won't take a break when she needs one. Okay, let's give her a deathly illness. She'll listen then. Wipe me off my feet, right? And then I come back like, wow, I've got some stuff to say. Surrender into your journey once and for all. Acknowledge where you've been, okay? Write down on a piece of paper, this is my life. This is my family. These are the things that really pee me off. These are the things that still get under my skin. These are the people that still get under my skin. These are the situations that I don't like. This is the things that I'm still allowing to drain away from me. These are the things that I'm still doing, right? These are the things that are still frustrating. For me, it's when a lot of the times when I see people who seem to get everywhere when they're cheating, okay? People who are dishonest, and away they go. Nobody cares. Off they go. They're making a mint. They don't even have to do hardly any work. They just are who they are, and they're full of it, and people fall for it. You know, that really grinds my gears. That upsets, right? Because you're like, wow, there's someone that's hardworking and actually does know stuff, actually does have the answers, actually has been there for this whole time, and still in the same position. So I admit that to myself as part of surrendering, that annoys me, all right, on one level. On the next level, you have to say to yourself, why? Why does it annoy you? And I guess it's a sense of justice throughout my life. People who've done the wrong thing have been celebrated, and people who've been trying to do the right thing in my life get, all the crap put on their shoulders continually. So the justice thing comes to the surface for me, where I want to fight for the underdog, and that underdog is myself most of the time, right? So the surrendering into your pathway is also admitting, all the crap you still do, all of the areas in your life that you're wasting time, you're wasting your efforts, you're wasting your anger, you're wasting everything, and you don't get anywhere, and then you get frustrated about that. So you start heading forward, and then you start dealing, and then the drama kicks in, same old issues come up. You let go of you let go of your guard. Your emotions go down a bit, start getting really annoyed about it. Then you start getting really angry at the universe about it. And then you're back to square one again, and you have to fight all that way to get forward. So surrender is key this is part of your ascension attributes. You can't ascend and still hang on to mundane crap. You can't ascend and, be listening to people's drama. It's different when that's your job. My job is to listen to your drama, okay? And it doesn't annoy me or upset me or anything, because these are legitimate concerns, and I'm like, okay, I have an answer for you, okay? That's different. It's different than someone pushing all of their crap into your timeline or into your face that you haven't asked for constantly because they want that reaction, or feeling like they can just put a crappy little comment on, a video or something unnecessarily, and that's okay because it's me, that they're doing it to. She won't care. Look at this, I can just write whatever I want. Well, too bad. Because anyone that's sort of here only to cause trouble or issues or, negativity of any kind is there's nothing that needs to be said. They're just gone. Okay. So that's how it's got to be for you guys that's how it's got to be for you guys in your journey as well. No more doing, pushing, wanting to help, no more of all of that energy. Instead, leading the way by your examples, leading the way by your lifestyle, leading the way by the things that start happening in your life. People are like, how are you manifesting this stuff? Like, what's going on with you? right? And all of the while, you're starting to understand why something happens in the way that it happens in your life, right? So these are important. Whoever's going to be listening to these messages, I know that it's the right message for you guys. The next step, once you've worked out all of your reactions to situations, and also once you've worked out why you do them, okay? Once you work all that out in yourself and in your life, and you really are on top of these reactions, okay? And you've got to be gentle with yourself as you're learning this and learning new behavior and admitting to yourself where, you fall short sometimes, right? But once you've worked out the surrender part of the journey, okay, then you're moving on to the next part of the journey, okay? So many of us are still working out the surrendering, all the crap, not to let people get to us, to keep moving forward on our journey, to bring ourselves into a place of centering and a place of receiving, right? To do the best that we can and not have to measure it by anybody else's standards, to focus on where we're headed regardless of the outcome or what socially people are going to think of that as well. And when we do have a reaction to something, that we're working out the deeper layers of that reaction. Like I said, what's the deeper layer of having your own personal page, a place of speaking? What's the deeper reaction for me? Oh, this has happened before. My rights have been stripped away, burnt at the stake, or, murdered or whatever for healing, for herbs, for knowledge. And here it was again. And that had come to the surface like that. It come out of me like that. As soon as I recognized it, it was coming out of me like as we speak, right? So once you've hit the surrender button and you've worked that out, and that will be something that you maintain as we move forward, then you get into the second phase of ascension, and that is acceptance. Okay? You start accepting yourself so much differently than you say you have done before. You really, truly, honestly do not care of the opinions of anyone, right? It's like you can accept someone's opinion and you can value their opinion, but it doesn't alter anything that you do with yourself, right? And this is what comes into it, acceptance. And some people are saying they're working on this now. And acceptance is a little bit challenging if you try to do it too soon, if you haven't surrendered all of that energy leakage that you have, right? But when you get to the place of acceptance, no longer is there any competition. The only competition you have is who you were yesterday. That's it. That's the only competition that you have. And people often ask me how come I'm so confident, right? When this is coming from me, who was completely social phobic, completely anxious ridden, like it would take me hours to get ready to do one thing, to build myself up to do one thing. To talk on camera, no way. To have photos taken, there's hardly any of me throughout my life, But confidence now, yeah, the key is I don't care. I'm just myself. And that's all I can be. I'm not trying to be anything other than me. But the reason I'm telling you these things is because this is all part of your abilities as well. Okay. Yeah, I will. Marissa. But the acceptance stage is one of the most difficult stages. But if this was something that was easy, then we'd all be accepting ourselves. Everybody's doing what they want to do and there's no issues. But the acceptance thing is hard because it's going to toy a little bit with where there's still a little bit of damage in the surrender area. You know, there's still some little things that get to you. As I said, you know, sometimes it's justice for me, like seeing other people rise to the top in seconds when it's taken years. And I'm just like, God, you know, these people are doing all of this stuff and it's not even groundbreaking work, you know, this is just fluff and everybody eats it up, right? And welcome to people who are coming in. I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I'm trying to just stay on track. That acceptance of yourself when you're seeing yourself still working, you know, still working hard at things, you know, is difficult, right? And I'm sure for many of you it is as well. You know, my husband is a professional drummer and has been drumming since he was 4 years old. He's like 40 plus years on a drum kit. And it's like saying to him, oh, thanks, Bobby. You know, that's awesome. But I'm going to go to this guy over here because he's had a year. He's had a year on this electric kit here. So he may be able to teach me stuff. But I'll come back to you later because I know you've got a lot of experience, but this guy, you know, and I'm going to pay this guy probably about $3,000, you know, because other people are doing it. I'm just going to give him like $3,000. And it's like, my husband's got all the goods. He's got all the knowledge. He's got all the experience, but you're going to tell him that you're going to pay somebody else who's only got a year's experience because he's famous or something, or everyone knows him online. So, you know, if I pay more money to that person, then it's going to be worth my while, right? That's the sort of crap that gets told to me. People will say, oh, okay, Becky, yep, all right. So you're going to do this, this, and this with me. Well, I'm going to pay $3,000 to this lady over here. And then they come back and say, oh, my God, I've wasted $3,000. I got nothing out of it. It was terrible. I should have just, you know, come to you in the first place. It's just, it happens to me a lot. You wouldn't believe it. People feel that they can tell me that stuff. And that's cool, right? You know, it's that sort of thing I don't understand. When you have someone who's top notch that is saying, hey, I get what it's like not to have money, do this. And they're like, well, you know that your prices are really, you know, cheap. So you know, you may not be really good. Okay. So I'm trying to make it easy for you. And I have to let go of how people think about things. You know, this is true for everybody. I'm sure you've seen it yourself. You want to give. And people would rather pay someone who takes. I don't understand that. Archangel Michael told me that people who make it really quickly, okay, who get up there real fast, doesn't usually last because it's not built on a very solid foundation. And he always told me that what I was doing with Divine Miracles was of importance and it had to be a solid foundation. And so that's what I just go with, right? And you guys are funny. So it's just, to me, there's bizarreness with the way that certain people think about things. However, if I don't surrender that out, I don't move into the next cycle, right? Why does it bother me what other people pay, you know? Because I know what I'm worth. So perhaps it feels like others don't see what I'm worth. And perhaps that's a feeling of you're not good enough, you know? You got to look at, and I'm just using these things as an example. I'm way bigger than to be worried about what anybody else is doing. But using this as an example, these things do, believe it or not, get said to me, how much money people have spent everywhere else, and then come back to me when it doesn't work. It happens a lot. And it probably happens in your life as well, on one level or another. When you get to that acceptance stage, it happens less and less. Okay, so I'm just using things as an example. The justice of things is something that is I want the underdogs to win, right? I don't want people who have always had things easy to continue that path. I mean, for me, I want them to be able to understand these ascension attributes and understand there's more to life, right? Yep. The thing of it is that we go through this acceptance stage and we still start to work out where we don't accept ourselves, okay? We work out where we're still annoyed for the underdogs. I hate it when I see kids being abused and animals being abused, and I get all upset inside because I want to help everybody. But you can't possibly do that. Another acceptance attribute is accepting that that's not possible, that you're not responsible for everyone, that you're not responsible for anyone actually other than yourself. And through that comes the learning and the understanding and, people working things out, right? So the second step is acceptance. Acceptance of all the failures and why they were there, what you learned from those things. And what ends up happening in that instance is that it's extremely far away from you. So I'm bringing up things to you guys and saying things to you guys today, but I'm bringing it up like it's hard to look at because those things are gone, right? So it's hard to do it, but I have to in order to bring you an illustration of something. And to say that sometimes those things don't get, oh no, that's fine, it doesn't get to me, that would be a lie. Sometimes things do get to me, just like everybody else. And it's learning these things. The next part of your ascension journey, okay? So forgetting all the, we're going into 5D, it's going to be this and that. No, it has to be this first, okay? The next part of your ascension journey is gratitude, right? So you'll be in a space where you literally wake up every day and you are really grateful, like going to sleep at night with a roof over your head, with blankets, with clothes that you have, with the space that you live in, with the people that are around you right now. And you've become very, very grateful for even the littlest things, remembering there was a time in your life when all of the things that you have right now, you were dreaming about those things. You were wishing for those things. It was a life you wanted for yourself, right? And Candy, you've been through some pretty grave experiences. In fact, all of you have been through some extreme trauma, right, in your life, but people don't really know about. And when you get yourself into a place of gratitude, yes, there are still some things that are, missing around us, etc. And there's things that we don't, that we wish we could have again or see or be near or whatever. But the gratitude takes over. And living each day is an experience of gratitude. It changes everything. It really changes everything. So although you're working, these are the 3 symptoms of ascension: surrender, acceptance, gratitude. Master those 3 things. Master them. Have that as your focus rather than the drama that's going on next door, or the person that keeps whining to you instead of asking you how you're going, or whatever it is that's grinding your gears. The president, the worldwide events, this to have it or to not have it. Because if you don't, then you're living a life of distraction. You cannot open your abilities. I'm telling you right now, you cannot open your God-given abilities if you are distracted. It won't work, okay? Distraction is key. If you are distracted, you cannot open your intuition fully. If you are distracted, you cannot connect with the other side of the veil. It will be really difficult to do so. If you are distracted, you won't be able to learn how to use a crystal ball. You won't be able to learn how to use tarot. If you're distracted, none of this, it will all seem like, why is everybody else able to do it and I can't? Why does this person have their abilities and not me? Because I'm telling you all, you are all equally gifted as each other. Every single one of you is able to do the things that you see me do. Every single one of you are able to connect in, do amazing readings, work with your divination skills, work with your intuition, open your psychic abilities. But if you are distracted, if your mind is distracted, if you haven't centered yourself, if you don't focus, if you don't believe in yourself, if you haven't surrendered, if you haven't accepted, and if you're not grateful, then you're not going to do it. You're just not. And you're going to spend your life and waste your money on all the stupid little courses and crazy stuff that I've seen people do time and time again, year after year after year, and not actually do it yourself, because first, you don't believe you can, and second, your mind is not still for 5 minutes because it's wondering, oh, am I getting it? Is it going to happen? What about the angels? Where's the angels for me? Why does everybody? Because you're always like, it's not happening, and it doesn't. Or you're distracted, or oh, I can't even meditate. I don't have time. You do have time. So if you want to open up all that you can be and make your life like 1,000 times easier for yourself and live a journey where you're manifesting all the time, these distractions are just not going to be the thing that does it for you. Start doing it, right? But you must be in a mind space where you learn, which is what you guys get taught all the time with me if you've been watching long enough. Get yourself in a place of receiving. Connect in, ground yourself, protect yourself. Ask for assistance, ask for messages, practice your craft with full faith that you're doing it, that you're getting it, that you've got it, right? Channel, write stuff down. What do I need to know today? What do you think you need to know? Write it down on a piece of paper and stop judging what you've written and write it down on a piece of paper. Ask yourself questions. Give yourself the answers. You can't do this when you are distracted. When you're trying to do cards or whatever, and you're checking your phone, or I saw this lady, okay, I am not going to lie. I saw this lady on TikTok. She was doing readings for people. Excellent. But she had her body turned to the side, right? So she's turned to the side. The camera's there where you guys are, but she's not facing the camera. She's facing to the side. And she was like all over the place, right? This lady didn't stop. I don't know what the hell she was doing, but she did not stop moving. And she had someone waiting for their reading. I'm like, is she going to tune in or something? Like, surely she's going to tune in a minute. No, she was like a chicken with their head cut off, racing around, right? And it was so hard to watch. I had to stop, right? I was just like, how can this lady get any information at all? And she was claiming to be 99.99% accurate. And she wasn't, right? It was really bad. And this prompted me, these things that have been going on have been prompted me to really start to try to show you guys in a way that you can understand, I guess, how to do all this stuff. Again, I've been trying to teach you guys for like 12 years. But there's so many things that are happening right now, and there's so many distractions, right? There's so many things that are dragging us away from our work. Do you love your spiritual path? Do you love learning about crystals and cards? Do you love reading books? Do you love sharing knowledge? Do you just love it? Like, you love listening to nice music? Do you love collecting things? Do you love having crystals and stuff and sage and things around you and all of those stuff around you? Because deep down, it's ancient practices that you've been a part of. That's why it makes sense to you. But for some reason in this particular lifetime, it is not as easy to connect as it used to be when we lived with our butts on the ground outside all of the time. When we lived that way, and now we don't live that way. So we got to create it all the time for ourselves. And if you allow yourself to become consumed with getting it right, or what if I'm wrong, and and you out of it, you're going out of it, you're distracting yourself away from what spirit really is, and that is unconditional love. If you don't have parents that loved you, if you don't have family that cares, if you don't have anyone really in your life, maybe you did have fantastic parents or whatever, but they're not around anymore, or whatever it is for you, know that your spiritual parents, okay, Mother, Father, God, whatever you want to call it, absolutely love you unconditionally. They love you to pieces. You can never do anything wrong in their eyes. Unless you intentionally go out and kill somebody, like, you wouldn't want to do that. But it's like you can't go wrong. So if you focus on the love and acceptance of your spiritual parents, there's nothing you can't do, all right? If you focus on your craft as being successful, it always will be. If you focus on someone else's success, jealousy is going to creep in, and you're going to hate someone for the very reason that you love them. You're going to end up hating them. That has happened to me, I don't know how many times, where someone's found my videos. They've come to me for support, which is fantastic. They've asked me to help them set up their business or whatever, which I do. And then I'm still making my videos and doing my thing that I was always doing. And they're like, well, I'm making videos now and she's making a video as well. Well, everyone's going to be watching her. And, oh my God, I just can't do this. It's her, like Marsha, like Becky. They're all in their head. And it ends up being this big hate thing. And it's like, don't you have any confidence in yourself? Everybody has to start somewhere. Here's all the tools. Here's all the help. Here, go for it. You've got, I've got your back. I'm your cheerleader. But it ends up being a competition. It shouldn't be. And yeah, Karen, you know what I'm talking about. Thanks, Moon Mother. So the distraction, the jealousy, all of these things that people don't sort out, you can tell when they're coming forward with all their messages and stuff, right? You can tell. When someone's done the work, you can tell that as well, right? Doesn't mean that they're perfect. No, by no means, right? And it just means that you're perfectly imperfect. You're still working like everybody else. I know when I started this thing, I just wanted to be on everybody's level, be all of your friends, just be walking the walk with you all, just walking in support of you all. And unfortunately, that didn't work because of what I just mentioned before. It's someone's insecurity will step forward and suddenly, you become a target or whatever. Oh no. I'll do some healing for her too, Karen. If you want to, I can do some distantly for her. So even with that being said, and the different levels that people are at or whatever, you've only got to focus on your ascension journey, your surrendering, your acceptance of yourself, and gratitude. Don't question everything, because that just means that you're trying to figure everything out yourself. So by questioning, you're trying to come up with a solution yourself. And it's much better to get a solution from the divine. If you're not distracted with all of this worry and stress and other people's problems, right? There's some people that live in a situation that they feel that they can't get out of, right? And I've been there myself as well, because they're trying to figure out themselves a way out of a situation, right? They're trying to figure that out. How can I get away? I can't get away because of this person, that person. How can I get away? I can't get away because of this bill and that bill and this bill. How can I get away? I can't get away. What will everyone think about me if I'm going in this direction? I should be in this direction. I've got to stay here because I've got this, I've been there a while. People are benefiting from me. Maybe your parents get your money for you or something and you're like, I'm just looking for a way out of the spider web. Oh, well, I'll just stay in the spider web and be miserable and I'll wait because eventually it's going to change. And, that is no way to live either. That is not what you're supposed to be living like. You're not supposed to be thinking of ways in which you can relieve yourself of something. In other words, you're supposed to allow the divine to come up with a solution that's divine for you. It's easier that way. There's no thinking involved. It's just going with your feelings. And suddenly an opening comes up that you just never expected, and you're able to get out. And by then, you don't really care what money situation is there or who's going to say what, because they're going to talk anyway. You're just going forward, right, in yourself. It's so freeing to do that. I love it when I do something that nobody wants me to do. It's like I can hear my mum in the going, oh my God, there she goes, eyes rolling and that, But there's nothing that's changed in that situation. Her situation is the same, only older. Her situation is still dramatic, and it's all drama. And it's still poor me, and it's still victimhood that I don't want to be a part of, And if you don't want to be a part of being a victim, don't allow that to be your label either, There comes a time in our life when we have to grab ourselves by the bootstraps, right? And really say, what do you want to do with your life? Forget about all of this over here. And when the kids grow up, you can do it. No. What do you want to do right now? If there was if there was nothing holding you back, right? If there was money wasn't an issue, people weren't an issue, family wasn't an issue, kids weren't an issue. If there was no issues in your way, what would you be doing? This is part of your healing journey as well. right? When you go through healing with me, I'm going to ask you, what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you're completely healed? Not all the reasons why you can't, but what are you going to do when you're completely healed? And they're like, I don't think I've ever thought about that. You mean I can actually get free of this? Well, yeah, if you follow the instructions and you do the work, yeah, you can be free of anything, right? Oh my God, I never thought of that. Okay. Well, I would do this and this and this and this and this, but I doubt whether that will happen. Then you know where you're at. You know where you're doubting. And if you're a healer, you know where your client is at. They have to get past the feeling of there's limits to what you can do. There's limits to what we can achieve, because there really isn't any limits, only your own. Those are your limits. Whatever limits you give yourself, you're gonna see it. You're gonna put yourself in a box, you're gonna see the walls pretty quickly, right? But if you start expanding universally in your mind that there is no limit, only to what my mind will let me do, wow, you can really go up some levels doing that work on yourself as well. Ascension, surrender, acceptance, and gratitude. Looking and examining your habits, your behaviors, your thought processes, even ones you don't want to admit to yourself, even things that you secretly hold back from. So sometimes I think to myself, oh, there's nothing really that and then I'm like, yeah, there's still stuff that I do, right? So I'm thinking to myself, no, there's nothing I can't handle, and that's true. And there's things that come up and I'm like, no, I know the answer. I know how to deal with this when it comes up. I know what's happening if I'm unwell. I know what's happening when I can't connect in very well. I know what's happening, but there are still some frustrations that you get inside yourself. There's still some frustrations and hurts that you have. And those are the things that you surrender into on a daily basis. Those are the things that you tell yourself you are going to understand differently. And animals, I hate to say it, but animals feel vibration. Animals take on healing for the world. They take on healing for their owners as well and absorb stuff. And one of the best things that you can do for your animals is tell them they do not need to do that. They are natural empaths. So you both need to speak to your animals, Katie and Karen, and say, it's safe for you to be here and you do not have to take all of this for me. I can do it. Mummy can do it. Okay? And that's part of it as well. Yeah. So, it's look, you're always adjusting as well. The energy of change is upon all of us, right? The energy of change is upon all of us. The craziness is upon all of us if we want to look at it that way. Tell your cats they don't have to do that for you, because they will naturally just be a sponge. Okay. They don't know their boundaries, so they don't need to do that for you. And if you want me to later, Karen, I will tune in whoever needs me to help with their animals, no problem. I guess the purpose of this whole message today was, 1, to let you know what was going on, 2, that I'm alive, and 3, if you want your abilities to open again, to come back, to be stronger than ever, all right, to be stronger than ever. If you want to be able to close your eyes and tune in to someone you've never met before, if they ask you to, and get it correct, right? You can't be distracted. You can't. And the connection that you need to have, for everyone to be able to have, like I said to you all, the energy of being able to really feel confident in what you're doing and where you're heading, where life is taking you, your happiness levels. It doesn't depend on the right partner. It doesn't depend on the right job. It doesn't depend on any other factor other than how focused you are on yourself, how focused you are on your journey, how you don't allow others to drag your energy away from you and drain from you. And if that does happen, that you acknowledge what's happened, that you surrender that feeling of having to be there and giving of yourself to somebody else, and that you're acknowledging why you do that, and then not doing that anymore, or working your best on not doing it, right? Yeah, probably just talking to you guys, it's coming out, right? I needed to say a few things. When we're all going through stuff like we're going through, and the world hasn't really seen stuff like we're seeing now, the separation for people has been difficult, the dumbing down of people, the suppression of people, and all that sort of stuff. And we're all going through that. It's easy to get very caught up in it all and really annoyed about it all as well, right? But when you instead acknowledge it as a crazy illusion of the 3D kind, and you see it that way, and you're like, okay, of the 3D kind, what does that mean? Well, it means that you're no longer acknowledging that kind of energy anymore in your life, around you, anywhere. And you've created a bubble of protection that is elevated, and therefore you don't really see it. You're safe from it. You go unnoticed. You hit a wormhole, right? And you're doing things that are you're quite fine, you know, and everybody else is up, and you're aware of it. Okay, so that's the difference. You're aware of it, and you don't want to be involved with it because of the nuttiness of it, the illusion of it all. All right, I was told everything's an illusion a long, long time ago, that all the world is a stage and we are merely players on it. Okay, remember those things. Those are all true. So now we need to create a new reality, something that people haven't done since ancient times, where they would create their life through their thoughts and their words. And what that life is going to look like was just, they just didn't even think of it being anything else. It was just this amazing life as they went forward, right, as well. Thanks, Katie Cat. And you can create that in the here and in the now. You're creating that for yourself. You know, when I know that there's 40-something thousand people on this YouTube thing and only 30 people are here, do I think those are correct numbers? Not at all, right? It's probably more like 3,000 people are here, all right? But YouTube wants me to believe that people are just not that interested, right? To deter people like us. If I lived in a 3D reality, that would really get on my nerves, like it does for a lot of people, and they give up, right? People give up before they've even got started. What's the point, they say? What's the point? The point is, everything right now is of your choosing. Everything that you're doing is of your choosing right now. You want to be in tune, connected, and knowing stuff and channeling information. You can't be distracted. All right? You have to strengthen and work on those 3 symptoms: surrender, acceptance, and gratitude for the most part. You're trying to figure it out, Marissa. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop. You won't figure it out up here. You got to allow the unblocking. You got to allow a clearing to happen. You need to write down on a piece of paper, I hereby declare no negative energy is affecting any of my social media. I am fully protected. I ask the universe to take charge of this immediately and show me signs that things are changing. Things are not as I thought they were. Otherwise, you're still trying to figure stuff out up here. It's not going to work as well. We can only do so much, right? So use your brain for bigger stuff. You know you've got plenty of people watching you, Marissa, right? And you have to keep going every single day. That's the thing. It was really hard for me to have just a couple of days here and there where you guys didn't hear from me. But I literally was making beeping noises like when I would talk. Man, not much was coming out. And I had to just go with that, you know. Right. And when we're living in our own sort of reality and we're manifesting and creating these things, the only distraction you're going to have is that second thought or a little bit of a worry or something comes up, like I was saying, where something comes up to try to distract you, or someone else's, like my husband and I say, it's never anything to do with us. If anything happens in our life, it is other people's drama, other people's situations, other people's lifestyle choices, other people's health or whatever that are in our, like in our immediate circle or whatever. There's never us personally. We just live our life laughing, having fun, manifesting the next thing, getting excited for what we're going to have to eat. Well, I'm excited for what I'm going to have to eat, I know that my husband gets excited with what I'm going to make to eat for us. But it's like, that's about it, We get everything done. We get everything paid for. We get everything squared away. And we get excited about the next adventure. And then something comes in, or there's a phone call, or someone's got an issue or a problem, and we have to fix it, right? And, we fix those things, and it's like, gosh, we just want to be in a bubble, at times, right? So we create that for ourselves. And it's only when there's those little, sucking fish that are on the outside of the bubble, poke a little hole in it, and then you go down a little bit. And as soon as you're in that vulnerable energy, that's when it all starts. So you just got to learn those signs. And my husband is fantastic now. He's just like, no, we don't have drama here. His hand goes to stop. Don't go any further. We're not having that drama here. Right? As well. And that's the other thing is, even our children are learning that as well, where, that if they live their life in anxieties or whatever, what have I got to do? And it's going to be hard. And, it's like, no drama. You come at me with praise or you've got nice things to say, I'll listen. But anything else, I'm not going to answer. And boy, their whole life changes, as well. So I wanted to be able to connect with you all right? I do have an account on TikTok. I would love to go live on there because it needs it. And a friend of mine encouraged me she's like, you got to be on TikTok. And I was like, I just did not want to do it. But the moment I could only do 3-minute videos on there until I get a certain number. I think it's 1,000 people and I can go live. I want to be live in as many places as possible, not for any other reason than to help those who are just needing that little bit of, oh, okay, this is where we need to go, and then we're going to be fine, because that's what it is right now. These are the things I need to acknowledge about myself, about us, about our journey. We acknowledge those things on a daily basis, and we move forward as well. Right, exactly. And so, there's so much more I could say. But one of the things is the art of intuition. This is what I wrote down, if you really want to know. The art of intuition requires focus, intention, and no distractions. When you cannot focus on your intuition, when you don't receive, you are allowing distraction to take over. And if that's the case for you, where you get a short attention span, or you jump in when someone else is talking and cut them off, or you have an answer why you can't do something, okay, examine it in your own way and tell yourself the art of intuition requires focus, intention, and no distractions. Where am I distracted from my goal of ascension? Where am I distracted from my goal of acceptance of myself? Who cares what I've been treated like throughout my life? I can't live that label anymore. Those were experiences for me to either be hindered by or never allow hindrances again. Which one's it going to be for me? These are the big questions. Am I going to heal? Well, I can heal if I actually don't have limits on what that is. What am I learning from being unwell? What am I learning from losing my voice, from having to take a week off? What am I learning from those things? What do I expect the universe to do for me? How do I see the universe? Do I see it as something that only favors people who already have got it? Do I see it, the universe never favoring me when I was young, and therefore I'm really still quite annoyed at the universe, and why would I believe it's going to help me now? Do I still think that way? These are questions that you ask yourself. Do I care what other people think of me? 9 out of 10 of you will. You will. It's crazy to say we don't care what people think of us. We do on some level. Do we let it stop us, though? That's the key. Because these things can be worked on. It doesn't matter how long, right? It's just more that you're working on it that matters, right? When you want to, I want to be able to travel with my husband and go to places all around the world. We'll probably start off with the United States and go to places that are so-called haunted or whatever, and clear them. Help these people, connect with this energy, fix the land, fix the whole thing, instead of capitalizing on, I'm going to record all this EVP and then never do anything about it. I think that you're going to get more luck with ghosts or spirits or whatever if you're actually intending to help them, right? Do I know that will happen? Absolutely. Do I have to worry about it right now? No, I'll just allow it to take care. Yeah, right? It will happen. It will happen, in teaching and healing along the way, meeting up with a lot of you people, Yeah, I want to clear the ley lines. I want to clear the blood in the soil, and help these people, help homes, etc. Help animals that are haunted. There's heaps of animal healing to do and shamanic work. There's so much to do. I want to have teachers that I teach personally that go off and teach. There's all that. And I have to allow the universe to allow that timing to occur, right? I've got a few of you in mind as my teachers, that I already know, that you're going to be right there and do the work and spread the word, right, in your way. And that's fantastic. That's what I want to have happen. And then come back to the East Coast. Right. So Florida, wherever we need to be. And of course, we're going to need an RV. We have 3 dogs. Okay. We have the 2 boys at home now. So we would have to make it where it's, we can live in it kind of thing as we move around. So we just let that happen as well. It will happen. And how much fun is that also, right? And connecting with shamanic healing and doing big shamanic circles. You guys will love that. If you haven't been to one of my, things before, Marissa had something at her house, but that was a little bit different. But having a proper healing circle and, learning some stuff while you're there. Crystals. Take rock and gems on the road. Whatever we want to do. We'll leave crystals wherever we go also. Keep a home base and travel around for sure. So we all have goals, right? We all have these things that we want to achieve. Like these things that we're trying to shift our focus into. If we think about it too much, we won't get there because there's too many obstacles in our head. So we say to the universe, thanks for arranging that. That'll be awesome. Thanks. I'm going to love to see how you do it because we need this and this and so go for it. Arrange it. And then what will happen is it will start happening, and then we'll be on the hook. Off we go. And I'm sure that the things are going to clear up energetically in order for that to happen. Right. It would be a great show. We'll film the whole thing. It'll be great. Someone will pick us up somewhere along the line because these people that are there right now, it's all old hat. They're not doing it correctly. So you're not getting the very good results either. Right. Come to Oklahoma, see? Right? So you guys are already setting an intention by us mentioning it. It's going to happen. It'll eventually eventuate until we end up with a space that you all can come and bring your tents and bring your animals, horses, wherever you want to our space that we eventually have. And you'll be able to camp out there and have spiritual retreat, all that sort of stuff too. Because pretty soon we may all be living together. Right? Who knows how things will go? And so we just keep an open mind with everything as well. For sure. So I will be doing I think I'm going to do Divine Cafe on Friday night. I still want to give myself I hate doing this, but I'll give myself another day. And Friday, I will do Divine Cafe. And then Saturday, we'll have a huge crystal auction because we didn't get to have one last week. And I have smoky spheres. So now we have smoky spheres, amethyst, and clear quartz and rose quartz spheres. And you're going to want one. Okay? They're awesome, grounding you and connecting you at the same time. All kinds of stuff we will have on Saturday. I have a new Facebook page that I have up and running, and pretty much within a couple of days I had 300 people on it. And that's just called BDevine on Facebook. So you may find you'll just see my picture, I guess. Hopefully you'll figure out it's me. I'm going to try to go live on there also on that new page until my old one gets sorted out as well. If you would like the house blessings, I have a recording that you can do, but I would rather that you connected with me and I can make something specific for your home. But I do have an in general house clearing for you as well. You can email me also. Awesome. Yeah, so Alva, you can just email me, divinemiracles@gmail.com. I will send you what I have, but if you want something more specific, which I do recommend, I do have a special on. It's in the blue highlighted It's $55, and I can do a reading, a clearing, or whatever you need for $55. Okay. Right. Awesome. I love that. Okay. Thanks, Kate. And thank you to everyone for being here today. I hope that these all made sense. We'll do some more lessons on different things as well. And my husband's put the link for the Facebook page. Thank you. And the link is in the highlighted comments for the October special, $55. Okay. Good luck to all of you in your practices. Try to remember those 3 things. Lots of love and light to all of you. And bye for now. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you to my husband. I'll be up there in a minute. Bye, everyone. Bye.